show are those of the show personalities and guest alone, and not those of Vic Canellis Media Group, its parent, affiliates, or stations. VCMG Live is not responsible for any content, information, or opinions expressed. User bears full responsibility for their reliance on such content, information, or opinions.
Would you love to deepen your spiritual connection and create a conscious shift in your life? Do you seek answer to human experience? Well, welcome to Spiritually Speaking with Sarah. It's a 2.5-hour safe haven for your questions and Spirit's answers. And you can transform your life right now on VCMG in South Florida. Sarah Spiritual is a gifted spiritual advisor, coach, and medium who can assist you to connect the light within and transcend beyond the limits of all possible experience and knowledge. For the next 2.5 hours, listen and call in toll-free 866-9-SARAHS. That's 866-972-7247. And watch Sarah Spiritual live on Facebook and YouTube and share love and light.
there's a light right here on the oldie station, and you're listening to Spiritually Speaking with Sarah all across the nation at 866-972-7247. And as we turn the energy in this moment in time and we open up to what is possible, the universe tells us anything and everything is possible. And you have the power to create from this moment forth. So as we open up the doors of possibilities, we're going to be answering your questions at 866-972-7247. And we're welcoming you to Spiritually Speaking with Sarah on the oldie station. And we are glad to have you here. Now, what are your dreams made of? Where do they come from? Well, I want you to all know that there is an opportunity for you to tune in and tap into your dreams, even from when you were little. Your little girl or little boy had a thought, an idea, a plan of what life was supposed to be. And it got morphed because life happens. We step into the journey of what our parents want us to be, and it's not always an experience that supports the dreams of a little one. Your soul knew exactly who it came to be before you got here. And if I were ever to tell you to do anything at this moment in time, at this juncture, given all that's going on in the world, all across the world, you need to listen to your soul. Your soul whispers to you every day, do this, don't do this. This feels good. You feel loved, you feel seen, you feel supported. But your mind says, I don't know, I have doubt, I have fear. And your dreams are made of infinite possibilities and infinite experiences with infinite options that no matter what you do, it's always meant to turn out to be the perfect experience. That doesn't always mean the road to the realization of the dream is going to be a skip down yellow brick road with Dorothy and the Cowardly Lion and the Tin Man and the Scarecrow. It doesn't always mean we're off to see the wizard. But there's a part of you that's magic. And that's the part that somewhere along the line we get dumbed down. It doesn't get recognized early enough as something that is concrete. It's labeled as this. Well, that's your imagination. Wow, you have a good imagination. Why are you staring out the window? You're such a daydreamer. Pay attention. But your soul knows it needs to daydream. Your soul understands that there's a part of you that has and wants so much more than you're giving it. And even as a little one playing with your toys, you can imagine what life would be like, right? Even if you played with superhero toys, you would have them do battle and somebody would win and somebody would lose, and you would have this whole storyline. I remember when my son was little, and I would wake up on a Saturday morning. I would be like, oh, here we go again. I'd stumble out of the bedroom, hearing sounds of choo, boom, pa. I'm going, oh, Lord, what is happening? And I'm thinking, I need my coffee really quick. And there he would be. He had all of his army men lined up. He had some of his other figure toys lined up. He had sheets draped around the couch. He made a fort. The army men were standing every week in the same exact spot. It was like, what? They never changed position. Every Saturday I could count on how many army men would be on the arm of the couch, which ones were on the back of the couch, and what trucks were coming in and out of the fort. And he had a whole storyline he was building. And that's what I would wake up to when I was, with him when he was little, right? And I was just so amazed at his consistency and the vision that he had. Now, no, he's not in the army, or he doesn't do a lot of fights of any kind, but he had an imagination that was not only a very visual imagination that he was able to express externally, but he had a very strategic mind. There was a strategy to everything that he did. And he took a lot of that strategizing from childhood into the years that followed, and he applied them with baseball and how he would see the ball and time it just right, and what position he would play when he planned to make the team. I mean, he had a plan. And this is the soul calling us to exercise the talents that we have. Because if you ask, what are dreams made of? Dreams are made of the talents that we have inside inherently, that we all do. And they are made of your wishes, your desires, your daydreams. They are made of inspiration. They are made by other people sowing seeds of greatness in the field that is you. And you are forever being encouraged to dream. I was just a few minutes ago on the phone with someone that I know and respect very well, and they were sharing how far they've come in this past year, and it's like all their dreams are coming true, and things are coming together expeditiously and very financially sound, and they never really thought this would be a way for them to go. But all of the dreams and the seeds of greatness that they had sowed along the way were about learning to express themselves, acknowledging their dreams, loving themselves, having faith, believing it's possible, and literally working their fingers to the bone, putting in the time, the effort, the dedication, the money to create something fabulous, to create a successful page that people can go to and see videos that bring them joy and laughter and happiness, right? Because the person creating it wants to feel that joy, that happiness, that creative spark, and that brings them joy. And then to feel something that brings them joy and to be able to take that joy and express it externally, that others, they too feel happiness and joy, well, that's what dreams are made of. Dreams are made of you not just feeling good about you and what you're doing and what you want and how you want your life to be. Dreams are made of who collaborates with you and how did you get there, because each person is a part of the story. Just like I used the analogy of the Wizard of Oz earlier, right? The lion brought a certain flavor to the journey. The Tin Man, right? The Scarecrow, they all stepped in and they had their part in the journey of Dorothy finding herself and her battling her fears of change, the fears of, something horrible happening, the Wicked Witch and the flying monkeys and all the things that could be obstacles in life. She needed to learn to stay true to herself and to believe in the magic. And that's what those ruby slippers represent. Those slippers represented the power that she had within her. And all she needed to do is believe, have faith, trust the process. I know. How many times are we going to hear, trust the process? Well, you do have to, because that's what dreams are made of too. A process, a system. It's a seed that's planted in your soul long before you come here to this earth. It's an awakening of who you are in the family unit that you have around you. And some are easier to manage than others. I know you know your families better than I do. So some families may give more support to dreams than others. But that's not an excuse for you not to have your dreams. That's just an obstacle like flying monkeys. You've got to get through it. You've got to power through. You've got to believe that you can. You've got to trust that nothing will get in your way. It is an opportunity for you to recognize your own individual power. That's what an obstacle represents. And as you grow in this world and you're exposed to more beautiful experiences and new ideas and the other things that people are doing, you can almost see yourself doing a version of that. Right? There are many people who never really thought they wanted to be in performing, and then they went to their first Broadway show and they thought, okay, I want to be on Broadway. And then that became their dream. But the dream was already in their soul. They liked music. They liked watching certain things on the television. They enjoyed how things were shared at home that had to do with theater and music, but they didn't really put it all together until they sat in an audience and saw a Broadway show. That's what dreams are made of. Taking all the pieces and putting it together. When I first saw the talent competition in the Miss America pageant, I remember saying, I want to be there. I'm going to do that. I'm going to compete on the way to be Miss America. It was one of my dreams, one of my goals. And most certainly was something that I was able to do. But I, like a lot of little girls, saw that and said, wow, that's the ultimate. That's the greatest thing you can do. You can sing and help influence people, have a platform of what would be really powerful to influence humanity and help others and get to share your gift of who you are. And now when I look back, now let's think about that dream. What are dreams made of? My dream was built on what many young girls would build their dream upon, something I saw on television that looked so fabulous, something that we would want to be a part of, something that kind of speaks to our hearts as little girls, especially way back when, right? When you're little, everything looks bigger than life. And when I was in that experience of growing up, and I had to wait to a certain age till I could audition for the pageant before I could, ask to be a contestant, I practiced. I practiced my music. I did different things with my music. So my dream was built on this little girl desire. And then a heart that said, I want to make a difference. And then an interest in music and theater. And then an ability to express myself and learn how to express myself. And I wasn't always someone who would express myself well. I know you find that hard to believe, but this was one of the obstacles. I had my manners, I knew my place, I knew when to speak, when not to speak, but there was a very shy part of me. And if you think about it, that does not fit in the dream of being Miss America or being on Broadway or theater. It doesn't work. So I had to go inside and do my work and work through everything that felt uncomfortable. Your dreams are not always achieved without overcoming uncomfortability, insecurity, challenges, financial, emotional. So now when I had the opportunity and I went and auditioned and I got into the pageant, and of course the next step is you have to win, right? And here I am finally in my dream. I am finally in one of the local qualifications of the Miss America pageant. So think of yourself, where were you when you were finally at the moment that was like the transition of I'm finally here, this is step one to my dreams. Or step one to my studies of what I want to do. So as I was there, I was like, okay. And I did my best, and snap. I was first runner-up. I won the talent award, won other awards, but I was first runner-up. I was like, okay. And you know what the constrictive criticism was that they gave me so that I could come back and do better next year? That's how they phrase it. We want you to come back next year and do better. We think you'd make a great candidate for Miss America, but this is what you have to do. You're sitting across from a panel of people that you're like, okay, what do I have to do? And they looked at me and said, well, you have to work on your interview skills. You seemed a little reserved, a little to yourself, a little shy. I went, oh, thought I handled that, flying monkey. Okay. But I had a dream. I had a desire. But that was an obstacle. I had to pass the local so I could go to the state. All right, roll up your sleeves. We're coming back. Next year, same thing. People in the pageant industry will call it pageant fever. Springtime comes. What pageant am I going to do? So I came back. And then I heard my name called for winning the talent award when I was in that final moment. I was like, oh God, don't let me be first runner-up again. But no, I won that year. And now I had finally accomplished the local level so I could go to my dream. But I'll tell you what their constructive criticism was, having won, because everyone wants to be the expert and tell you what you can do. What they did say to me was, wow, we loved your interview. I'm like, really? Well, I conquered that flying monkey. We loved your interview. You were just so conversational and very engaging, charismatic. We loved it. Right? I gave myself permission to be who I am and not the reserved person that everyone around me was expecting me to be or needed me to be. You see, how do you get to your dreams? You have to be who you've come to be, not what everybody wants you to be or how they need you to be or behave. And, well, that's a bit of a challenge when you're growing up, right? Because we have our parents and we have to respect them, but you still have to be yourself. So fast forward, many titles later, won Miss Westchester 2 times, competed in Miss New York State, Miss Connecticut, but I never quite made it to Miss America. So you may say, but your dream wasn't realized. But remember I said your dream is sowed in your soul long before you imagine what it really looks like? I had this realization a few weeks ago. And it was one of those times when I had a talk with myself. Have any of you ever sat and had a talk with yourself? I sat there and I said, self, do you realize way back when you were younger, I know it wasn't that far ago, but it feels like a lifetime ago, when you wanted to be Miss America? And then I said to myself, do you realize that now you have the same ability to reach people that Miss America does? You just don't run around with a crown on your head? And I guess I could if I wanted to, right? But I have enough of them at home. But I came to the realization that I could only interpret my soul's dream in what was being broadcasted to me, what was being shown to me, how everything was presented and my life was unfolding, how I could express myself at that moment and at that time. But do you know what my soul was doing? Just like what your soul's doing for you. My soul was preparing me to be where I am now, to dig down deep, listen, to be engaging, to be authentic, to be charismatic, to speak well, to not be shy and reserved, to trust the process, and to influence humanity in the way that I get to do. See, Miss America only has a 1-year reign of when she has her crown and has that much influence over the people that she meets. And then through sponsorships and such, perhaps she goes on and does something else in broadcasting or media. A lot of Miss Americas have gone on to do that. But we've been able to be here with all of you for 16 years. And I'm literally, because of what I do here, living my little girl dream. So wherever you are, just because your dream didn't morph exactly the way you wanted it to, or you're not there yet, maybe you have a couple more flying monkeys to wrestle. Maybe you need to evaluate who you're going down the yellow brick road with. Maybe they're not the right people to surround you and support you. Maybe you really haven't dug deep enough in your soul and asked yourself, well, what is it that we really want? Life has changed. It's morphed. When we were 10 or 12, we really thought life would be like this, but now we're here. But what aspects of the 10-year-old, 12-year-old version of my life can I redirect in this portion of my life, wherever you are in the journey of life? What can you do? You see, your dream's already in you. And it's got all the components necessary to make you be the best version of yourself, the best human being that you've come to be, and have an influence on people. Have an influence on experiences. Feel them on a different level. And you can be as happy as you want, as rich as you want, with all the right people. You can have the life partner you want. And some of you may be sitting there thinking, yeah, but I want those things, but it's just not happening. Well, there was a lot of times in between all of this that a lot of things weren't happening for me. I know it sounds like everything fell into place and was very easy. There were moments of, which way do I go? What's next for me? And every new choice, every turn that you make, puts you down a different version of the yellow brick road. And the catch is the magic is all inside of you. Just like I needed to realize the magic was inside of me. It wasn't the version that everybody wanted me to be. It was the version that I had come to be. It was the ability to be my own person. To kind of be that person who maybe didn't fit in with everybody else in the family. That was the creative person. That was the musical person. That couldn't give two bananas about math and science. Didn't mean I didn't study and do well, but I wasn't excited by that. It didn't make me feel happy. I just did what I needed to do. It was expected of me and got good grades, but that didn't talk to my soul. What talked to my soul was the universal language of music. What talked to my soul was the possibility that I could be with everyone all at once and that my voice would be heard. So what's your possibility? What's your dream that's still there? And if it's lying dormant, wake it up. Wake up that dream and choose to live. Choose the version that you can live in this moment, at this juncture of your life. And express yourself in your truth and your authenticity. And believe that the universe and your soul will guide you the whole way. And yes, trust the process. And when the flying monkeys come your way and things seem challenging, know that somehow something will come along that changes the story, frees you from the conflict and difficulties, all the challenges. Even if you have to wake yourself up from the sleeping dust of the poppies, as they did in The Wizard of Oz, wake yourself up and keep moving. Keep going towards that dream, because all the intricate pieces lie deep within you. Well, I'm really glad to be joining you here tonight on Spiritually Speaking with Sarah. I'm looking forward to having a great conversation with all of you at 866-972-7247. We're going to answer your questions. We're going to visit with our friends on Facebook and YouTube, so keep those questions going. We'd love your comments and your questions. And in the 8 o'clock hour, we've got Stacy Holler joining us. Can you believe it's July already? And we are rocking around the astrological clock. Stay with us. You're listening to Spiritually Speaking with Sarah, and that's me, Sarah Spiritual, and we'll be right back.
That shines down upon me, and there's a light that brightens up
Stay tuned for more Spiritually Speaking with Sarah, coming up right after the break. Continue the conversation with Sarah Spiritual on Facebook and YouTube. The phone lines are open too. 866-9-SARAHS. That's 866-972-7247.
The opinions expressed on the preceding sponsored program were strictly those of its host, guests, and callers, and not necessarily those of this station, its staff, management, or sponsors.
WSFS 104.3 HD3 Miramar, WFLM 104.7 HD3 Palm Beach Shores, and heard in Broward on 96.9 FM, Boca Raton on 95.3 FM, West Palm Beach on 95.9 FM, and in Martin County on 106.9 FM. We are South Florida's home for the True Oldies Channel.
Sarah Spiritual is a gifted spiritual advisor and medium. She can connect you with your loved ones, your spirit guides, and ascended beings. Sarah specializes in love, relationships, money, career, health, and healing. She has an uncanny ability to convey the true thoughts and emotions of those around you. Just call 561-682-0956 for your personal reading. Life is a spiritual journey, and each situation has a spiritual solution. Just contact Sarah for a personal reading today. 561-682-0956. 561-682-0956. Or visit sarahspiritual.com. Or that number one more time, 561-682-0956. Let Sarah Spiritual and Spirit raise you up.
Hi, I'm Sarah Spiritual, the founder of the Expedito Enlightenment Center. I would love for you to visit me at my spiritual oasis located at 4047 Okeechobee Boulevard in the Tree of Life Plaza in West Palm Beach. Come, feel the energy, sample my spiritual sprays and oils, participate in one of my spiritual development classes, and have a personal reading with me, Sarah Spiritual. Let's see what Spirit has to say. You can call the Expedito Enlightenment Center at 561-682-0955. Not local? Visit me, Sarah Spiritual, at sarahspiritual.com for products, classes, and to book your personal session.
This show is furnished by Sarah Spiritual.
The content, information, and opinions expressed during the related show are those of the show personalities and guest alone, and not those of Vic Canellis Media Group, its parent, affiliates, or stations. VCMG Live is not responsible for any content, information, or opinions expressed. User bears full responsibility for their reliance on such content, information, or opinions.
Welcome back to the next 2 hours of Spiritually Speaking with Sarah as we continue our uplifting and empowering spiritual discussions to transform your life. A gifted spiritual advisor, coach, and medium, Sarah Spiritual will assist you to connect to the light within and transcend beyond the limits of all experience and knowledge. We have another 2 hours to listen and call in 866-9-SARAHS. That's 866-972-7247. And watch Sarah Spiritual live on Facebook and YouTube, and you can share the love and light.
There's a land that touches hearts. There's a light to open everyone to love. Love may hold the answer we are looking for. Love may open up another door of light. Oh, there's a light. Oh, there's a light. Open up in everyone. Can you feel it? There's a light to change the world. Won't you be a part of the light? Oh, love, it is the answer now, and we can see love. There's a light.
Yes, indeed, there's a light right here on Spiritually Speaking with Sarah, all across the nation. And we're so glad to have you here joining us at 866-972-7247. And we've got some things coming up at the Expedito Enlightenment Center. First of all, we're going to be there on the 4th of July. We're going to be there from 11:30 to 4. So if you are off that day, you want to come check out my metaphysical center in West Palm Beach, pop in and look around and find some fabulous things for yourself, and maybe we can get to say hi, depending on my session schedule. I'll be doing readings on the 4th of July, so we are glad to welcome you at the Expedito Enlightenment Center between 11:30 and 4. Normally, we are there 11 to 6, Tuesday through Saturday. So visit sarahspiritual.com and learn more about the Expedito Enlightenment Center. Now, when we look at what's coming up, we've got some interesting things coming. Next week on July 10th, we have our full moon transformational release ceremony. We're going to be doing a sound bowl healing with some releasing transformational experiences, and also a flower ceremony where we're going to be doing some cleansing, clearing, and releasing. So we welcome you to that. You can learn more about that at sarahspiritual.com. The cost of that is only $16, and we welcome you to the full moon transformational ceremony release live online and at the Expedito Center, and it starts at 7:30 p.m. And we're starting our boot camp. I know it's time to work out. Let's get physical. Yes, indeed. Let's work out our spiritual energy. Let's get physical and develop our spiritual soul and connect. Learn to talk to your angels. Learn to identify different energies around you. Learn how to connect with your loved ones on the other side so that you know that they're with you and you feel that comfort. We're going to teach you how to feel energy, smell energy, see energy, hear your spirit guides. So it's going to be a real powerful class. And by the end of the class, everybody gets to practice. And it is quite amazing to see what you can accomplish. So we look forward to seeing you at our boot camp. It starts August 5th. And that will be at the Expedito Enlightenment Center as well as live online. All the details of all 4 weeks of our boot camp are located at sarahspiritual.com. So go ahead and check that out. And I've got one more cool thing that we've got as a special right now. We need to take a pulse. Can you believe it is July? Well, July is kind of this midway point. How's 2025 going? How's it been treating you? Do we need to take a look, darling, and see what else is possible for you? Well, this is the time to have your mid-year checkup. Tune in, take a pulse of your spiritual life, And we will have our mid-year checkup going for the next few weeks. So go ahead and schedule at sarahspiritual.com. You'll find all the details on the mid-year checkup session. So it's only for a short period of time, and then that goes away. So I'd love to give you a spiritual physical. Let's see what we got going on. Well, we're welcoming your phone calls at 866-972-7247. And we're going to go to our phone lines. And I want to go to Colleen. And Colleen is in Delray. Colleen, how are you?
I'm good. How are you?
I'm doing well, Colleen.
Can you hear me?
And I want to say good for you. You are ready for a new beginning. You are ready for a fresh start. I feel like things have been feeling a little slow, stagnant, and kind of feeling a little, I don't know, just kind of stuck in life. Is that true, Colleen?
A little bit.
Yeah?
I have fun, though.
Well, that is your personality, right? You like to spend time with people, enjoy, and everybody gets along well with you.
Yes,
What is
that's
your
true.
question for me, Colleen?
Is the universe telling you anything that I need to be aware of, health-wise?
I'm not a doctor. I cannot diagnose.
Right,
So
I get it.
Let me see what I see here.
Because when you're old, you've got to always keep that in the back of your mind and be aware.
No, you don't. No, you don't. We don't need to do that.
You don't? Okay.
No, you are youthful beyond measure. You are powerful. You are healthy. You walk around your house and you say, I am powerful. I am one with the universe. I am healthy. Every cell in my body is restored to its original perfection. Everything about me is flexible and I'm able to move with ease and grace. No, 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 no. Do not feed into this. What? Old? That doesn't exist. We've been programmed, hypnotized to think that that's a possibility. So we've accepted that over the generations. So you have the power and the ability to stay well. Now, I do see you in relatively good health. Were you monitoring something in your blood work recently, please? Were we managing something in blood work, please?
Ongoing.
Okay. So that's the only thing we want to keep an eye on.
You know.
Is your blood work, right? Because I feel like there's a monitoring going on, and we need to continue to monitor that. But at this moment in time, you read like you're in good, strong health. My guides and my angels are showing me that you're strong, and sometimes you may feel like a little crick or crack or something feels a little tight, but you are doing well. I do see a trip coming for you, Colleen. Is there a trip that you have planned?
A lot of thinking about trips, yes.
Okay. There is one that you would take, should take, will take in the next 3 to 4 months here before the end of the year. So I want you to be open to that possibility.
Okay.
All right? One will present itself well for you. What's your follow-up question for me, Colleen?
Recently there was 2 deaths close to the family. You know that old saying is always it comes in threes?
Yeah.
You see anything in that front? is that a true statement?
I mean, listen, honey, if we're going to talk getting old, then what comes next, right? Okay, but we'll focus here. I'm focusing. I'm with you. But, really, what's guaranteed, right? We get born and we're gonna pass one day, right? My spirit guide's like, you croak eventually, right? So, but that
right.
period of time is something that for each human being is unique. And you had 2 deaths in like a 6-month period. Is that true? Is it like that kind of closeness? 6 weeks?
It's been a week. 1 week.
1 week. Okay.
One person drowned.
Ooh.
Yeah.
Too soon for me to reach those individuals who crossed over. It takes time for them to kind of check in to the energy, so I will not be able to connect with them. That'll take a while for us to be able to access them. We are so sorry for that loss, for both of those losses. That most certainly is something that's a a gut punch. We're not expecting that type of passing. So most certainly that is
Right.
that is a challenge here.
Can I ask you one more quick question?
Yes. Who's the female who passed, please? Female who passed?
Her name's Elvia.
Okay. You were very close to her, please?
At a distance. My daughter-in-law was her grandmother.
Daughter-in-law was the grandmother. Okay.
In other words, my daughter-in-law, it's her grandmother that passed.
Okay. Okay. I see her in the energy. When did she pass?
2 days ago.
Okay. She's still here. She's not quite on the other side. That's why I'm able to catch her. And I don't feel that that she said everything to everybody before she passed is how she makes me feel. And I wouldn't be surprised if your daughter-in-law has a dream with her in the very near future, because Alvia, wants to make sure that your daughter-in-law knows that she's okay.
Gotcha.
Okay? Because they were very close, yes?
Yes, they were.
Yeah.
Yep.
She was almost like a mother to
close.
her, right? So, but Alvia
Yes.
is very, very close to her, and she's showing herself to me so that you can relay that message to your daughter-in-law that she is okay, and she just wants to make sure that her granddaughter knows she's all right.
Yeah. Okay, thank you.
You're welcome. Your follow-up question for me, Colleen?
Okay. Do you see me having any biological grandchildren?
What's the birthday of your family, please, your children?
February 22nd, 89, and April 26th, 91.
Yeah, they're not on the kid train right now.
No, they're not.
No. And like that, they're like, who wants kids? Like, but is there a son? Because they're talking to me about a son. Who's the son?
The first one, February 22nd,
Okay.
89.
That may change for him, but later. And for your daughter, the best time for that to happen is about 4 years from now. So she has time to change her
Got
mind.
it.
Okay? But in this moment in time, unless we're in the land of whoops, I don't see that yet. So
Gotcha.
but you're in great health. You're going to be around
Got
for all
it.
of that. So you just trust the process, as we said, right? And live vicariously
Right.
through other little people's grandchildren for now. But your children don't really feel like it's something they want to do, or that they have time or room in their life for at this moment.
Gotcha. Okay.
All right.
Thank you.
Colleen, thank you so much. You've called before, haven't you? Yes? We've spoken before?
Yes, and I'll be
Yes.
in to see you. Yes.
Okay. I look forward to that, Colleen. Thank you so much. All right. Bye for now.
Okay. Take care.
Bye.
Bye-bye.
You too. Bye.
Bye-bye.
866-972-7247. We're welcoming your phone calls right here on Spiritually Speaking with Sarah. We are here every Wednesday night from 6:30 to 9 p.m. And we've been here for quite a while. I think it's 745 live shows, something like that. And we are so glad over these past 16 years to be the show that you can still, there's not a lot of shows around where you can call in and ask your question and get some guidance. And that's us right here in sunny South Florida answering your questions on the Oldies station. And we're going to go to New York. I've got Erica on the line. Erica, how are you?
Hi, I'm okay. Thank you.
Good, Erica. What is your question for me?
Well, so I left my boyfriend in March, and it's been a process. It's been pretty difficult for me to remain no contact. as well as be on like feeling like I'm on my path. I did like start putting myself out there, and I got a gig in the beginning of the month, but it just, I was so overwhelmed. I ended up drinking again, and then I've just been feeling very doubtful and very down and just like afraid that my life is not going to get better.
Did
I'm
you go
struggling.
did you go to get a sponsor? Do you have a sponsor to help you through this?
No, I've not really, I haven't really like been connected in a long time, really. Like I've been very disconnected.
Right. Well, that's why you need the support. Erica, you need the consistent support so that you know someone's in your corner. And when you feel like things aren't going to get better, you can pick up the phone. Somebody's there to hear you, acknowledge you. You don't feel seen. You don't feel heard. You're feeling like you're an imposter trying to step into this new life. You don't think you're good enough or worthy.
Yeah.
There's so much swirling around inside of you that is disrupting you from really stepping into your true passion, purpose, and dream. And so it's a time for you to truly take stock of where you are. And if I were you, I would find a meeting, and I would go to a meeting. And I would meet some people because, as you know, you're not the only person who's battled, having every once in a while this battle with alcohol, leaving your boyfriend because it wasn't really working for you, and feeling the pressure of life, feeling overwhelmed, right? There's so many other people going through the same exact things that you would find comfort in knowing that they have made it through as you will as well, right? So Spirit does tell me that you're going to be okay and that life is going to transform for you. You just have to trust the process. Right now, the flying monkeys have you, and they've kidnapped you and make you think that you're going to be a prisoner and, and not make it to the land of Oz. So you've got to stay the course here. Going backwards to your boyfriend is not what we want to do.
Yeah. I don't know why I just don't understand how someone could be so loving at one point and then so hurtful. And it's like at times he would cry and apologize for what he did, and then he just ended up blaming me for everything.
Well,
and it's really hard for me not to reach out to him.
But the word I wrote on my paper is he's broken. And his brokenness is hooking into your brokenness, and therefore the two of you are ending up broken together.
Yeah. I mean, since I left him, I only saw him once when he dropped off my things, but immediately I am reminded why I left.
Okay. So you trust your choice.
And I
just
want to...
If I remember correctly, you checked with Spirit before you made the change, yes?
Yeah.
Okay. So here we are. One foot in front of the other. You are strong enough, you're powerful, you're good enough, you're worthy. Someone else will come, but first you have to work on you. And where you are in the journey of your life is this powerful new beginning. That's what March brought for you, a powerful new beginning. But we had to go through the depth of what feels like heck in order to put you back into the better version of yourself. It was the real point, the pivotal point of endings and beginnings. And you put yourself on a new path. And by next March, you're going to be feeling better. The thing you want to get a hold of is the fact that you're losing yourself in drinking when you're feeling overwhelmed, right? And I'm not a counselor. I'm not a therapist. I'm not a coach. So I just know that Spirit is telling me you need a support group to help you with that, so that you can step away from that pattern of behavior, so you don't destroy yourself and then attract somebody even more dysfunctional than the guy we just left. Like, I know what I say makes sense to you, but when you're in fight or flight and panic, it's hard for you to get your grips and do the right thing. Is that true?
Yeah.
Yeah. So I want you to trust the process, honey. And you will be okay. And do not pick up the phone and do not call him. We do not want to go backwards.
Yeah.
All right, Erica, we appreciate your call. You will be fine, and find someone who can help you, that you can be consistently communicating with. All right? Thank you. Bye for now. Bye.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
All right, bye.
866-972-7247. You're listening to Spiritually Speaking with Sarah all across the nation. And when we come back, we want to visit our friends on Facebook and YouTube. So put your questions and your comments in the feed. And when we also come back, we've got our phone calls right here on my board. I can see them coming in. You want to join the conversation, now's the time. 866-972-7247. Stay with us. You're listening to Spiritually Speaking with Sarah, and we'll be right back.
Standing in the room before I walk through the door. Do you know me? Have you heard me? Have you seen me? Do you know?
Stay tuned for more Spiritually Speaking with Sarah, coming up right after the break. Continue the conversation with Sarah Spiritual on Facebook and YouTube. The phone lines are open too. 866-9-SARAHS. That's 866-972-7247.
Sarah Spiritual is a gifted spiritual advisor and medium. She can connect you with your loved ones, your spirit guides, and ascended beings. Sarah specializes in love, relationships, money, career, health, and healing. She has an uncanny ability to convey the true thoughts and emotions of those around you. Just call 561-682-0956 for your personal reading. Life is a spiritual journey, and each situation has a spiritual solution. Just contact Sarah for a personal reading today. 561-682-0956. 561-682-0956. Or visit sarahspiritual.com. Or that number one more time, 561-682-0956. Let Sarah Spiritual and Spirit raise you up.
Come visit the Expedito Enlightenment Center for an extensive array of spiritual products, crystals, books, classes, readings, and healing services in a beautiful spiritual oasis. You must visit the Expedito Enlightenment Center in West Palm Beach. Come feel the energy and explore our unique products. Arrange for your own personal spiritual reading with Sarah Spiritual for spiritual insight. The Expedito Enlightenment Center is located at 4047 Okeechobee Boulevard, Suite 129 in West Palm Beach. Call 561-682-0955. Visit online at expeditoenlightenmentcenter.com. That's EXPEDITO enlightenmentcenter.com for yourself. Or for a thoughtful gift, there's no better place to visit than the Expedito Enlightenment Center in West Palm Beach. Call 561-682-0955 or visit online at expeditoenlightenmentcenter.com.
You are listening to Spiritually Speaking with Sarah, your spiritual advisor and medium. Connect with Sarah Spiritual and be in the energy of light. Call right now, Sarah Spiritual, at 866-9-SARAHS. That's toll free, 866-972-7247. Just ask your questions or message Sarah Spiritual live on Facebook and YouTube.
know my voice? Did you call me with your soul? Because you know that you know me. Every soul has its soul.
Oh, yes, indeed. Every soul's got its journey. What's your journey? Well, we're going to find out because we're exploring your dreams and seeing the endless possibilities and, of course, answering life's very important day-to-day questions because life's a tricky little thing. It pops up with unexpected happenings and we don't know how to handle them. Or we make a choice and then we have to wrestle with the feelings around that choice or the fear of making a change. There's so much that happens in our day-to-day lives, and there are times we just need a sounding board. When we tune in and call here, we not only have a sounding board, but we get to hear the echoes of the heavens as to what the possibilities are, what the options are, and how things can work out for you. So we are welcoming your phone calls at 866-972-7247. And we are going to go to West Palm Beach. Let's see if we have Therese on the line. Therese, how are you?
I'm good. How are you?
I'm doing well. Good to make this connection with you. Is this your first time calling into the show?
Yes.
And how,
First
Therese?
time calling into the show, but I've
Good.
seen you before. Yes.
You've seen me before. And so how did you hear the show? How did you come to find it?
To the email, to my email.
Perfect. Well, good to know that you want to be on our email list because then you know what's happening. So, Therese, let me tell you this. This year for you is really about you changing some things in your life because I feel like you want to branch out, you want to be more, do more, and there's a level of some stagnation that I see around you. I feel as if you want to make a change for the better for yourself. I feel like this is a time to branch out for new work opportunities and embrace some new way of working, something different, something that feels a little more exciting, inspiring. Does this make sense to you?
Yes, indeed. And I have more anxiety than usual. It's like, just like you said it, it's like a force pulling me back every time. I just feel totally confused. And I have that anxiety. I don't know what it is about. Of some kind of fear. But there's been a lot going on in my life too. I've lost a close brother of mine, and actually I was going to ask you my next question was going to be about him, and I feel like I'm still in the process of grieving and the sadness.
So when I look at your work time, I feel like there's new opportunities that can be presented to you. I want you open to that. I feel as if you've outgrown what you currently do. Does that make sense to you?
Yes, I would say so.
And are we thinking of making a move? Because I see a move coming into 2026. Are you thinking, I think I want to move and trying to figure out how we're going to do that, Therese?
Yes, I've been wanting to move out of Florida, and it's been like, it's been so, I don't know. I mean, it's on and off. Sometimes I feel the urge. I know I'm clear in my decision, and then next time I'm totally confused. I don't know where to go. But I do have a specific place in mind. It's just that my husband and I, we just are going back and forth, and I do want to move.
Well, you tell him that back and forth means we're stuck stagnant and not going anywhere. So, hello, no back and forth. Mon chéri, let's go. We need to make a decision. And 2026 is going to give you the opportunity to make that decision. Is there a J in your family, please? Who's the J, please?
J?
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Well, I have an uncle of mine who's very sick right now, and
Okay.
I'm very worried about him. His first name, yeah, start with a J.
Yes. What is his first name, please?
Joseph,
Joseph.
and his middle name is Andre. Andre.
Okay. Okay. That's enough. I got enough with that. So let me just tell you this, that your uncle, his father has passed. Is this correct?
Long time ago, yeah.
And this person is his father like your grandfather, please, in the family?
Can you repeat that again? I'm sorry.
Joseph's father is your grandfather? Your great grandfather?
No. Yeah,
Great grandfather. Okay.
great
Because
grandfather.
I have a man who stands in the position of like a great grandfather. It's just the position he shows me in. And he's making me feel that there's someone with the letter J who's going through a difficult time at this moment, and that he's looking after him because Joseph's in a touch and go situation. Like it could get very complicated very easily in his health. Is that true? Okay. So we want to make sure that your Uncle Joseph is doing all the right things with the doctors. His father is very close to him now, looking after him. Energetically, I see that spirit. I know you said you recently recently lost someone, and that is how when I went to see who is there, this is the first person who stepped up, was this grandfather person who is connected to you as a great grandfather, and so he is with you. Okay, he's with you. He's with your Uncle Joseph as he goes through this transition. The person that passed recently, in the past few months, is that true? Please.
No, it's been a year now.
Is it a year?
Just a year. Yeah.
Okay.
This month of June, my brother.
Your brother. And who is connected to the month of March, please?
I don't know.
Okay. I see someone connected to March, and March is connected to their birthday. Okay, someone on the other side.
I can't think of anyone.
At this moment, you can't, but you hold that. I'll leave that with you. All right. Your brother.
He's lost. I want to know. I would like to know if he's happy. He suffered a lot, and
He
I was
suffered
very,
a lot,
very close to him.
but he also passed. He was young when he passed. Is that also true? I mean, he's still rather young for his age, correct?
Yeah, he was 61.
Yeah, that's considered young in today's day and age, right? And he hung on as long as he could, and he wanted to make sure that he got to talk to everybody he could before he passed. This is also true, yes?
Yes. Yes.
So he makes me feel like you had your goodbye with him so that you would know that he was all right. Now, you're very intuitive, so your brother gives you signs, and we want you to pay attention to the music. That was his favorite music. He loved music, so listen for his favorite songs. He's also making me aware of something with a bird. I don't know if you noticed, but there's like a bird that follows you or that was looking at you and then flew back and came back and came back. So when you're out and about, pay attention, because he sends you a message as I'm seeing it with a bird.
Okay.
Okay. But he is there. He is at peace. He is no longer suffering.
Is there any way? Yeah, is there any way to tell me if he's with my mom, because they were very close to?
Yeah. Your mom has been gone for a while. Is that correct?
Yes, correct. Mm-hmm.
Yeah. So next to your mom, your brother stands underneath your mom as her son.
Mm.
Next to your mom, there is a man standing next to your mom, but makes me feel like it's family connected to her. So I feel like she's with her father. And
Yeah, it could be my dad. I don't know.
and then next to her on the other side is another man, and that person is your father. So your
Mm-hmm.
brother is with your mother and your father.
Okay.
And before your mom passed, she was having difficulty getting around. Yes, please?
No, she had a brain surgery.
But she did regain her movement, correct?
Mm-mm. She didn't
Okay.
regain. No.
Yeah. But she makes me feel like she couldn't get around before she passed. That's what she's showing me. Like she couldn't
Yeah.
she couldn't get she couldn't get around.
Mhm.
But know, Therese, that you are with a lot of support here, and you just have to make a choice as to what you want your life to be and what we desire next. Both you and your husband, it's time to make that choice, to make the move. All right, my dear?
Okay.
All right.
So one last thing. Do you think Georgia is a good move for me?
Georgia is a good move.
Okay.
Outside Atlanta.
Mhm.
Did you have a town in mind? Is there a Covington, Georgia, or that's just kind of what I'm hearing. Don't know.
Yeah, Suwannee, near Atlanta.
Okay. Yeah, as long as you're
Yeah.
outside Atlanta, that would be good. And see where I don't know why this town is in my energy, but Covington or Covington, something like that, Georgia.
Mhm.
See where that is in conjunction to Suwannee, what you were considering. It may be another good place for you to be when you go to check it out. Get in the car, get a ride, go see it, check it out. All right, my dear, thank you so
Okay.
much. We are so
Thank
glad
you.
to be able to
Thank
connect
you.
with you. God bless you. Bye for now.
Thank you. You too. Bye-bye.
866-972-7247. We're going to go to Deborah, and Deborah is in Delray. Deborah, how are you tonight? Are you there, Deborah? All right, maybe we don't have Deborah. So we're going to go to Miami. We've got Kimberly on the line. Kimberly, how are you tonight?
I'm okay. Sarah, how are you?
I'm doing well. Thank you so much for calling. And what is your question for us tonight?
I actually have like a two-part question. I'll try
Go
to
ahead.
hurry through, but I also wanted to use this if I could to just make sure everybody gets out there and does cancer screenings. I just want to really reiterate that for everybody. I just think it's
Oh,
super important.
absolutely. Absolutely. I think it's very important. And especially in today's environment, seems to be a lot popping up. So it's really good. And thank you so much for reminding everyone to, check. Don't be afraid to check. Better to know and handle something than to not know, and get your cancer screenings. Yes. Thank you.
I think a lot of people are afraid to do it, and I think that if they knew that it would literally just takes 2 minutes to actually do the tests. And I wanted to just say, so this is actually part of my question. There are a few, and I wish, I'm 56 years old. I'll soon be 57, and it's crazy that now in my 50s, I'm literally just finding out about a couple rare, very rare breast cancers that don't show up on mammograms. Sometimes don't even show up in breast MRIs. And it's really super scary. And so I'm having symptoms of a couple things that I don't know what they really are. My screenings are coming back clear. However, I'm in this kind of waiting process now of wondering if I should have a biopsy, but a little bit worried about that.
No.
Because,
Hold on. No, I'm going to pause you.
Okay.
Spirit is saying,
okay.
And I'm not a doctor, so I can't tell you what to do.
Okay.
But I'm hearing in my head, have you ever had a thermography?
No, I haven't, and I don't know.
And I have the
if that's
perfect
something
person for you to go to. And if I just take 1 second here, I will be able to give her a free plug right here. Okay. Her company name is Thermography First. She's in Fort Lauderdale. That's why I thought, okay, I know the person that's not too far from you. She went through breast cancer. She survived. And perhaps what you're experiencing, one of the things that she works with is she sees where there's discolorations and disruption in the body, and then the two of you look at it. You then go and make some choices based on some suggestions that she will make, and then you will go back and see if we've mitigated it, removed it, if it's gone already, right? And so before we cut into something, you might as well go. So her name is Donna Barahona, Barahona. You'll find her on Facebook. Tell her you know Sarah Spiritual, and the company's Thermography First. So I would check with that first, if you can, get an appointment. Then you go through the traditional medical procedure if you don't find an answer there, or the answer leads you to, oh, yes, I do need to get a biopsy. I feel as if the more we know before we go into something surgical, the better we are, the better chance that whatever action we're taking is going to give you the best optimum healing result. But when I scan you, I do feel that, it's been makes me feel like the past couple of years have had their twists and turns, and I feel like you've had some stress, and things have been built up around you. You're very intuitive and sensitive with a lot of people around you, so you have picked up a lot. And so I feel like you've been the sponge for everybody. And now you have to USA. You got to let it go. You've got to be like, okay, it's me time now. This year is a pivotal year because it's an expansive, creative year with the universe, expansion of consciousness, even expansion of finances. But when I shuffle you into 2026, this is the year where we need to make some more changes. And if we haven't made some of the choices in 2025 coming into 2026, this is not a fear statement, but this is like, then these changes, rather than adaptations in life and making a choice of like, oh, this is a better way for me to live, I want to do this, or oh no, these people are toxic for me, I want to remove myself from them. If we don't make those changes, then those changes that weren't made then turn themselves into challenges to force you to make the change. And that's where sometimes our health can be the issue. So I feel as if you are handling your health concern, which we give no power to at this time. You are handling your health concern at the perfect time in the perfect way, especially if we go down the path of thermography first, and then we decide where we go from there. I don't feel that it is that critical, that you don't have that little window of time to do one more thing before you follow the traditional path.
Are you able to, well, I guess, I don't know if you're able to see anything regarding, it's such a crazy thing, my symptoms.
I'm not allowed to diagnose or give any real medical advice for sure, right? My angels are making me feel this. You are going to be fine. Okay. So we don't want you to have any fear in this. All right? I've sat across from many people who've gone through the actual disease in their body, and as scary as it was, however that all turned out, they were fine rather quickly, rather easily. So when my angels have say to me this feeling of you will be fine, whether it's a blip on the screen that with a change that's suggested from someone who knows, and we can
Mhm.
minimize and remove it, or it's a next step and a next step in a different course of action, you do come out
Mhm.
fine. So we want to take the fear
Thank
out
you
of it.
so.
I want you to see,
Yeah.
Kimberly, every cell in your body illuminated with light. And I want you to see the light of God coming into the top of your head. And I want you to visualize this every day. And I want you to say, I am one with the universe. I am one with divine light. I am one with divine healing. And I want you to see this beautiful white light with golden flecks pouring into the top of your head, coming down through the brain, through the back of the head, through the sinal cavities, right down the throat, in your thyroid, down the back of the neck, coming down through the shoulders, flushing through your heart center, illuminating every cell of the breast tissue, restoring it to divine perfection, bringing it down through the solar plex, down into the stomach, down through the intestines, and you get the gist, right? And you take it right down through the bottom of your feet. And you say, I am healthy, I am whole, I am healed. And when you say, Kimberly, I am, you activate the power of God. And by activating the power of God, you initiate the remembering of who you are, who you've come to be, and the light that is in you, that spark of authority that is God's expression, and it restores you to health. And if everybody listening who's faced with any challenge or any disease, any malady, any difficulty would apply this to their bodies and their mindset, there would be much less problem in their lives. And we wouldn't fall into the hypnotic suggestion of the fear or the disease that can take over, right? We have the power to control how much power this disease has in our body. Sometimes people give up. They're like, oh my God, this is where I'm at. And they feed into it. I'm not saying be an ostrich, put your head in the sand, right? I'm saying we hit it head on with light first. And then we follow. My spiritual teacher who did heal cancer, did take people out of comas, hard for people to believe who poo-poo don't believe, but I saw it happen with my own eyes. So I know. And when we put ourselves in this shift of consciousness and God's authority becomes the only authority acting in your life, and that you realize that we have the power to shift it and not fall victim to this power of the suggestion of a disease and let that control our body, then everything we have becomes realigned. And my spiritual teacher would say, go hear what the doctor has to say and be like, okay. And, take whatever protocol they send you with, but we're going to work in a different way and we'll see. And it's always worked for me.
Yeah, I believe when you have, it sort of has to do probably also with, I don't know, the way you relax your body, allowing your body to relax, to heal. If you're in a constant state of stress, it doesn't.
Correct.
It actually sickens you.
Right. But you see, when you activate the power of God to be the only power acting in your body, everything else has to go. And when you choose to put healthy boundaries, little Miss Kimberly, and tell people, hey, I need to do what I've got to do for me. And you know what? I've helped you figure out XYZ out all this time. Figure it out. Because you've taken on a lot of people. You're a great caretaker. You're a big empath. You absorb a lot of other people's energy. Now it's time for you. You need to fill your cup. Your cup is empty. And your body is signaling we might be in crisis.
Yeah. I really appreciate that. And I want to ask you, I don't know if it's too much to ask you this real quick, but it's funny because what you just said goes along with, I guess, this question of how I can best help my dad. He's going through a lot right now. Obviously, it's affecting me too.
What is your dad's birthday?
hopefully this question can help other people as well. My dad's birthday is January 20th, 1939.
Okay. And what's the question on your dad?
Well, there's cancer, and I just don't know at this point if there's any other treatments that can help him. I know he's very, very scared, and obviously I am too. And he's very not spiritual. He's very the opposite of everything that you teach. I mean, I wish, it's just amazing. He's the opposite of me, the opposite of you, the opposite of all of us here.
Well,
basically.
But you can do some work for him, and this is what you do. You see your father sitting in this purple energy. It's known as the violet flame. And the violet flame has the power to consume, annihilate, and destroy anything less than perfection. And you see this purple energy dancing all around him and just reevaluating energies in his body and realigning him and calling to his soul, because his soul knows the journey and knows the story, right? He knows the story of his life, the beginning, the middle, and when and how the end will be. And you ask that he be in alignment with his soul's destiny. We can't change destiny. But if there's a healing to take place, ask for the healing to take place. This is what they call miracles. And yes, God is a God of miracles. And the powers of the energy of the violet flame, the powers of the light of God, the power of God in action through all of us, this is the energy that all of us have available to call upon us. And when we look at a world that we question its sanity at times, you have the power to put the violet flame and change everything, including your father's health, to make it more comfortable, more easy, to have it consume and take away all fear and all doubt and give him the power and the strength to heal and the right next step. I feel as if your father has most likely, it feels that way, I feel like he's explored whatever he can and done what he can without it being too difficult for his body to handle. So now we need the body on its own, with whatever he's already doing, to suppress the cancer, to hold the cancer at bay and keep it there and insulate it so that it causes no more damage and it stays there for as long as it has to until it's the end of time. Right? Because we're all choosing one exit out of this earth one way or the other, whatever that may be.
Yeah.
Well, my darling, pleasure talking to you. I do have to pop off. We're getting ready for commercial.
Yes, thank you very much.
We send you healing. Do let us know. Send me a message on Sarah Spiritual on Facebook. Let me know when you get in touch with Donna. Let me know, how thermography goes. Keep me in this loop, and we will send the angels to be around you and your dad. Thank you so much.
Thank you. Thank you. Have a great night. Thank you, honey.
You
Bye-bye.
too. Bye for now, Kimberly. 866-972-7247. Write that phone number down. I sure would love to talk to you in our next hour of Spiritually Speaking with Sarah. And when we come back from our commercial break, well, we're rocking around the astrological clock. I've got some questions for my friend Stacy Holler, so stay with us. We'll be right back.
Down upon me, and there's a light that brightens up my day. There's a light.
Stay tuned for more Spiritually Speaking with Sarah, coming up right after the break. Continue the conversation with Sarah Spiritual on Facebook and YouTube. The phone lines are open too. 866-9-SARAHS. That's 866-972-7247.
The opinions expressed on the preceding sponsored program were strictly those of its host, guests, and callers, and not necessarily those of this station, its staff, management, or sponsors.
WSFS 104.3 HD3 Miramar, WFLM 104.7 HD3 Palm Beach Shores, and heard in Broward on 96.9 FM, Boca Raton on 95.3 FM, West Palm Beach on 95.9 FM, and in Martin County on 106.9 FM. We are South Florida's home for the True Oldies channel.
Sarah Spiritual is a gifted spiritual advisor and medium. She can connect you with your loved ones, your spirit guides, and ascended beings. Sarah specializes in love, relationships, money, career, health, and healing. She has an uncanny ability to convey the true thoughts and emotions of those around you. Just call 561-682-0956 for your personal reading. Life is a spiritual journey, and each situation has a spiritual solution. Just contact Sarah for a personal reading today. 561-682-0956. 561-682-0956. Or visit sarahspiritual.com. Or that number one more time, 561-682-0956. Let Sarah Spiritual and Spirit raise you up.
Hi, I'm Sarah Spiritual, the founder of the Expedito Enlightenment Center. I would love for you to visit me at my spiritual oasis located at 4047 Okeechobee Boulevard in the Tree of Life Plaza in West Palm Beach. Come, feel the energy, sample my spiritual sprays and oils, participate in one of my spiritual development classes, and have a personal reading with me, Sarah Spiritual. Let's see what Spirit has to say. You can call the Expedito Enlightenment Center at 561-682-0955. Not local? Visit me, Sarah Spiritual, at sarahspiritual.com for products, classes, and to book your personal session.
Come visit the Expedito Enlightenment Center for an extensive array of spiritual products, crystals, books, classes, readings, and healing services in a beautiful spiritual oasis. You must visit the Expedito Enlightenment Center in West Palm Beach. Come feel the energy and explore our unique products. Arrange for your own personal spiritual reading with Sarah Spiritual for spiritual insight. The Expedito Enlightenment Center is located at 4047 Okeechobee Boulevard, Suite 129 in West Palm Beach. Call 561-682-0955. Visit online at expeditoenlightenmentcenter.com. That's EXPEDITO enlightenmentcenter.com for yourself. Or for a thoughtful gift, there's no better place to visit than the Expedito Enlightenment Center in West Palm Beach. Call 561-682-0955 or visit online at expeditoenlightenmentcenter.com.
This show is furnished by Sarah Spiritual.
The content, information, and opinions expressed during the related show are those of the show personalities and guest alone, and not those of Vic Canellis Media Group, its parent, affiliates, or stations. VCMG Live is not responsible for any content, information, or opinions expressed. User bears full responsibility for their reliance on such content, information, or opinions.
Welcome back to the next hour of Spiritually Speaking with Sarah, as we continue our uplifting and empowering spiritual discussion to transform your life. A gifted spiritual advisor, coach, and medium, Sarah Spiritual will assist you to connect to the light within and transcend beyond the limits of all experience and knowledge. We have another hour to listen and call in 866-9-SARAHs. That's 866-972-7247. And watch Sarah Spiritual live on Facebook and YouTube, and you can share the love and light.
There's a light light. Oh, there's a light open up in everyone. Can you feel it? There's a light to change the world. Won't you be a part of the light? Oh, love, it is the answer now, and we can see love.
Yes, indeed, we can see love. And we are right here loving all of you on Spiritually Speaking with Sarah all across the nation at 866-972-7247. And pop in on Facebook and YouTube. Give us your questions in the feed and your comments. We look forward to talking to you as well. And we're going to go to our phone line, and we've got our very special guest here for our 8 o'clock hour, our resident astrologer. She's going to tell us what's going on in the planets and the stars. I hear that song in my head. I got the sun in the morning and the moon at night. So let's see what the sun, the moon, the stars, the planets have to say with my friend Stacy Holler. Stacy, how are you?
Always happy to be here and join you the first week of the month. I can't believe it's July.
I can't either. I'm like, oh, Lord, please. Like, please, please, please. How could it be July already? And then I got excited for Christmas in July on the Hallmark Channel. But then I was like, oh, God, that means it's really almost Christmas before we know it. But I don't know, Stacey. The energy's feeling a little crazy here. So I don't know what you've been feeling and seeing, but I feel like the energy is really charged up. There's a lot of like electricity in the energy. There's a lot of people, really uncertain, and people kind of feel like they're walking in circles, really. And so what's going on in the planets and the stars?
Well, pretty much what we have been saying. I mean, the very powerful energies are still affecting us that we've been talking about all year. Pluto and Aquarius. And Uranus, which has been in Taurus, which we've been seeing a lot of craziness on the planet, on the Earth, is moving into Gemini. So there's a lot of configurations and energies that are very confusing for us. This week Neptune goes into retrograde, so if Neptune doesn't confuse us enough, let's ratchet that up a little bit. And we've got some energies coming in that we want to talk about. What's happening this month? In your email, didn't you put it's back? And we've got a retrograde coming in, and we've got Uranus. So we have some energies, and it's just a matter of knowing that they're there and navigate. How are you all navigating all of this? And it's looking inside, staying close to your truth, and doing what's right for you in your life, because that's how we're going to navigate all of this. But I want to talk about a couple of things this month. Just, it's like you want to see the lay of the land before you step into it, so you know what's happening. And I'm just going to mention, I want to mention Uranus, because that's a very powerful planet that throws curveballs at us. And it is moving into Gemini, an air sign, on July 7th. That's next Monday. So while it's been affecting the Earth, now it's going to Gemini, the planet of communication. So watch out for technology things going a little crazy, or new technologies, or breaches, or that's all Uranus, communications. So we might see some things really accelerating with technology after that. Then we have a full moon that I know you know all about. You're having your session, correct, on the full moon in Capricorn on the 10th?
Yes, we're having our full moon surrender, transform, release ceremony, and we are going to really tune into our sound bowls and our flower ceremony to cleanse and release everything that doesn't serve us.
Well, for anyone who's going, and I would encourage all of you to attend because it is the perfect way to complete that cycle. This full moon is about endings. The full moon's about what did you want to accomplish this year, because it's the cycle that you started at the beginning of last year, your resolutions. So it is a time of release and endings and transformations. So when I go through everybody's sign, I'm going to let you know where in your chart that full moon is, what part of your life. So when you're working with Sarah on that wonderful transformative session, you at least know exactly where in your life you could focus on. So we'll talk about that. Mercury retrograde is back on the 18th. So we all know the scary R's, but really what it means is rethink, reprocess, reassess. Don't start new things if you do, just be very careful, cross all your T's and dot your I's. It's a great time to review and do things you've done before. Now what's interesting is the new moon in Leo on the 24th is also very powerful. It's extra charged because of the configurations in the sky. And yet the new moon is when you start new things and you envision a new 6-month cycle. So while we look at everybody's horoscope for the month, we're going to talk about where this full moon is, where you're doing your healing and your transformation. We're going to take a look at where Mercury retrograde falls in your chart. And guess what? It's the same place as the new moon. So when you hear your sign or your rising sign, listen to both if you know what your rising sign is. This is where you're going to reflect. And when I tell you about where to envision the new things, it's going to be the same. Does that sound a little confusing, Sarah? We have a retrograde and a new moon in the same energy.
It sounds like a lot. It sounds like it's going to feel intense. So tell us how to navigate this, because it's only July here, Stacy. So we want to make sure we don't pass out from the energies and the hot summer heat.
Well, we need to let everybody know we're only the messengers here, right? Like, don't shoot the messenger. But it is, there are still going to be energies that shake this up. We all haven't landed yet. But stay true to yourselves. If you're confused, look inside. That will guide you. But let's look at everybody's sign and rising sign and see how these energies are going to affect you this month. So we're going to start with Aries. Now, the full moon for you is in your house of career. So what were you imagining? What did you put into motion 6-7 months ago of the goals you wanted in your career? Your Mercury retrograde is in your 5th house. Now, that's romance. So you know what could happen in a retrograde? Some old love might come back or show up in your life. Doesn't mean you should go with it, but it could happen. Or look at creative projects. But watch your communications. Now, the new moon is also in your 5th house. So don't move so quickly. Start planning where you might want to meet somebody or where you want to go. So the Mercury retrograde, everyone, ends on August 11th, and there's still a little shadow after that. So go slowly, Aries, into your 5th house of love. Now, Taurus, the full moon for you is in your 9th house. That's all about travel and studies, education. Maybe you finally finished a class or you finally booked that trip. It's a good time for media. The Mercury retrograde and your new moon are in your 4th house. So that's all about your home. So watch your communications with your family during this retrograde. If you're thinking of making home improvements, plan it. But then it's a great time to go for it with the new moon energy when the retrograde is over. Gemini, your full moon is in your 8th house. That is very intimate, close relationships and your shared finances. So whatever you were working on back when it was a new moon, now is when some of that could come to fruition for you. Now, your retrograde and new moon is in your 3rd house of communications. So Mercury is all about communications. Watch, be careful before you hit send. Let me put it that way. Watch all your communications. But new projects that you're working on, start planning during the retrograde. And when that energy is over, that's a great time to kick those off. Now, Cancer, the full moon for you is in your house of committed relationships. So if you've been in a should I stay or should I go, this might bring you that answer. the Mercury retrograde, and your new moon is in your house of money. So during the retrograde, really cross your T's, dot your I's, make sure everything is in order with your finances. And after that, it's a great time to do financial planning. So you could start your planning during the retrograde and then start actualizing what you're doing after the retrograde. Now, Leo, the full moon for you is in your house of work and health. So if you've been working on making those doctor's appointments or setting up new routines or organizing your house, if that's been your plans, you should be cleaning that stuff up now. Now, your Mercury retrograded new moon is in your first house. That's all about you, personal goals. So during the retrograde, you might have people show up from the past. You might be confused about what you want and where you want to go, but the new moon's going to bring you the energies to really take a look at the personal goals you want to accomplish over the next 6 months. Virgo, the full moon for you, 5th house, love, fun, romance. So Virgo, on the full moon, go out and have some fun. Go party. Now, the Mercury retrograde and your new moon is in the 12th house. So after you party, then it's going to be a self-reflection time. It's behind closed doors. It's healing. So it's a really good time to clean out some old stuff, do some meditating. It's a healing time. And the new moon could bring you the energy that if therapy or working with a healer, you could find some really good people to help you on your path. Libra, the full moon is in your house of home and family, so there might be some culmination of things you've been working on in your family or completing in your house. The Mercury retrograde, a new moon for you, is in your 11th house of goals and dreams and people and friends. So you might have some old friends pop up, come back to you. You might be rethinking goals that you have had. And think about really where you want to go in the next 6 months, and you can start moving in that direction after the retrograde ends towards the end of August. Scorpio, your full moon is in your house of communications, so there could be some very meaningful conversations going on for you during the full moon. The Mercury retrograde and the new moon are in your house of career. So during a retrograde, wait for starting a new job if you can, or signing contracts. But if you're in a job search, it might be a great time to reconnect with people that you've known before that could get you going and clear your path. So rethink it, or you might be rethinking what you want your next move in your career to be. And then after the energy dissipates and the new moon energy is in there for you, that's when you want to plan your next career move. Where do you want to be in 6 months? Sag, the full moon for you is in your house of money, so maybe you'll see some money coming in or a shift in your plans or a change in your values. Your Mercury retrograde and new moon is in your 9th house. Okay, so that's about travel. So really watch your traveling, Sag, during this Mercury retrograde. Or if you want to go back to a place you've been before, it's a great time for that. But you might have delays because that's what Mercury retrograde is all about. And if you're thinking about planning other trips or education, think about it through the Mercury retrograde. And once the new moon energy comes in at the end of August, you could really make those plans and make it happen. Also goes for the media, too. Capricorn, the full moon is in your 1st house. That's about you, your identity, your appearance. What have you been working on? What do you want to look like? And your Mercury retrograded new moon is in your 8th house. That is about intimate relationships. It also is about shared resources. So during the retrograde, you want to take a look and reassess your shared assets with other people, or take a look at your deep, intimate relationships and what you want. I wouldn't make a move on anything, but after that dissipates, you'll still have the new moon energy to take the next steps. Aquarius, the full moon is in your 12th house. That's time for you to release and let go what's been weighing you down. Deep in your soul, what you need to heal. Your Mercury retrograde and your new moon is in your house of committed relationships, Aquarius. So that's all about, are you thinking about marriage or ending a marriage? Are you thinking about a business partnership or ending a business partnership? Don't make any of those moves during the retrograde. Really reflect. You might have old lovers coming back to you too, or old business partners. But you can make that next move after the retrograde. And then Pisces, your full moon is in your house of goals, of friends, of associations. So you might decide, I don't want to be with this group anymore. These aren't my people, and I'm moving on. Or you might meet some new people that are going to become very important to you in your inner circle. And your Mercury retrograde and Saturn, and new moon are in your house of everyday life, new habits. So in this retrograde, figure out your schedule, but watch communications. That's when your calendars could get all screwed up. But you can make plans for new habits. And maybe when the retrograde is over, do not start going to the gym during the retrograde unless you used to go. But this is a good time to start getting going. So there are ways to navigate it, Sarah. We're really just being called to look at those parts of our life, reassess, and then make some changes so we could move on.
Well, it sounds like it's going to be a busy time for all of the astrological signs. But let's take a step back, Stacy, and let's look at the big picture. Each one of these signs are going to have their own unique hiccups and things to look for, things to build, ways to grow. But what can we say for the world with the way the planets are? Do you have any insight on what, the ways of the world will be during these times? How could the Mercury retrograde affect it? How could some of these other retrogrades affect us as a collective in the month of July? Are we going to see things kind of percolate for humanity overall? Is it going to be a big time of reflection for our country, for other countries? What's been your sense from what you've seen in all of the astrology that you've been following thus far?
Well, the powerful energies of transformation are really still pushing us to figure out what kind of humanity we are, what kind of planet do we want to live in. And it's very, very extra charged for transformation. All the energies are there. And that's when retrogrades come, like the Mercury retrograde comes about every 3 or 4 months or so. And every planet has its cycle and takes its time to stop and reflect. And I always look at that as a kind of a breather, because we all need to stop and look inside and think, where am I? What am I doing? What do I want to do? Am I on the right path? So it's kind of built into the energies that we all stop at certain times. In certain planets, pushes different energies for us, depending on which it is. We feel the Mercury a lot because it's a personal planet, and we feel it more critically than the larger planets. That's when we feel it on the global scale more. So I think for this month, the Mercury retrograde also brings up things from the past. Not always easy, but it's time to kind of reflect that. So when an old person comes back into your life, it's for you to reconsider, is this right for me now? Do I want this? What did I learn from this person? So to answer your question, as where the planet is being pushed to change, and clearly Mother Earth hasn't been happy with us, and it's showing everywhere. And like Uranus, which is showing us why we need to pay attention to the Earth, moving into Gemini, it's all about how we communicate with each other. How do we move our society forward? And the retrogrades give us time to pause. So I don't think it's going to be I don't think we're all going to see that kind of slowdown, because stuff will still continue to happen. Mm-hmm. But the retrograde is time for us to really take an opportunity to reassess and look inside and kind of slow down before we move forward. So we'll see how this plays out.
I hear that song in my head. Think of your fellow man, lend him a helping hand, put a little love in your heart. That's kind of what I hear in my head, right? That sense of, we really have to come from a better place of love and awareness for everything around us. Gratitude, awareness, love.
Yeah, so when you're singing, I'm thinking, what percentage of the world's music is focused about love? From love is the answer to love is all you need. We get these messages everywhere, channeled to us. Now we need to pay attention.
We need to pay attention, yeah. We need to pay attention and see the world differently. Well, we thank you, Stacy, for sharing time with us. For those of you listening, if you'd like to have a phenomenal chart done for your astrology, your birth chart, transit chart, progressive chart, whatever you need, Stacy knows what you need, and she'll be able to help you and map out your life with the power of the planets, the stars, and really tune into why you are where you are and what you can look forward to and what you want to be aware of so that you do not end up in a place of like, oops, here I am again, right? Especially during retrogrades and things. It's so good to know where you're going to possibly be affected so that you can plan for it and work around it. Stacy is the expert at this. She has been an astrologer for 30 years. And you can find her at destinyinthestars.com, destinyinthestars.com, and you can there register for your birth chart and some of the other selections that she has of other readings that she offers you there, different types of charts. So go to destinyinthestars.com and book your session now, whether you have just had your birthday, you're about to have your birthday, or you're in the midway from your birthday and you're like, okay, seriously, I need to know what's going to happen for the second half of the year. This is your go-to place. Go to destinyinthestars.com. Thank you so much, Stacy. We appreciate you. I know you've been hanging out with us, and I know you've been listening to the show for all 16 years, so we appreciate that. And I got corrected earlier. I thought it was like 744 live shows. No. They're like, no, Sarah, you're at 775 live shows. And you've pretty much been part of almost every one of them one way or another, either as a listener or, of course, now as our astrologer for the past few years. So we do appreciate you.
Well, I love being with you and going down this journey with you and all your listeners. Thank you so very much. Folks, hang on. We will all be okay and get through this together with love. And I'll see you all next month.
Thank you so much. All right, Stacy. Bye for now. Bye.
Thank you. Bye.
Bye. 866-972-7247. That's the number to join the conversation. I do have a couple callers on the board, so we're going to be getting to you. And Facebook people, don't go anywhere. YouTube people, don't go anywhere. When I come back from this commercial break, I'm going to you first. Then I'm going to my friends on the phone because I know my friends on Facebook and YouTube, they've been waiting. And if you want your astrology report, you want to talk to someone who really knows how to rock around the planets, you want to go to Stacy, holler at destinyinthestars.com, and there she can help you with your chart. We appreciate you, Stacy. Thank you, everyone. We are going to take a minute to hear from our sponsors, and then when we come back, Facebook, YouTube, and phone calls. Here we go. We'll be right back.
Have you heard me? Have you seen me? Do you know my voice? Did you call me with your soul? Because you know who you know.
Stay tuned for more Spiritually Speaking with Sarah, coming up right after the break. Continue the conversation with Sarah Spiritual on Facebook and YouTube. The phone lines are open too. 866-9-SARAHS. That's 866-972-7247.
Come visit the Expedito Enlightenment Center for an extensive array of spiritual products, crystals, books, classes, readings, and healing services in a beautiful spiritual oasis. You must visit the Expedito Enlightenment Center in West Palm Beach. Come feel the energy and explore our unique products. Arrange for your own personal spiritual reading with Sarah Spiritual for spiritual insight. The Expedito Enlightenment Center is located at 4047 Okeechobee Boulevard, Suite 129 in West Palm Beach. Call 561-682-0955. Visit online at expeditoenlightenmentcenter.com. That's EXPEDITO Enlightenmentcenter.com For yourself or for a thoughtful gift, there's no better place to visit than the Expedito Enlightenment Center in West Palm Beach. Call 561-682-0955 or visit online at expeditoenlightenmentcenter.com.
Sarah Spiritual is a gifted spiritual advisor and medium. She can connect you with your loved ones, your spirit guides, and ascended beings. Sarah specializes in love, relationships, money, career, health, and healing. She has an uncanny ability to convey the true thoughts and emotions of those around you. Just call 561-682-0956 for your personal reading. Life is a spiritual journey, and each situation has a spiritual solution. Just contact Sarah for a personal reading today. 561-682-0956. 561-682-0956. Or visit sarahspiritual.com. Or that number one more time, 561-682-0956. Let Sarah Spiritual and Spirit raise you up.
Listening to Spiritually Speaking with Sarah, your spiritual advisor and medium. Connect with Sarah Spiritual and be in the energy of light. Call right now, Sarah Spiritual at 866-9-SARAHS. That's toll free, 866-972-7247. Just ask your questions or message Sarah Spiritual live on Facebook and YouTube.
To Spiritually Speaking with Sarah all across the nation at 866-972-7247. And we want to talk to you. And we have time to take a few more callers here. But at this moment, I just have to pop in to my friends on Facebook and YouTube. They've been really patient, and I want to see what's happening in there and see what the comments are. Let's see. We've got Chris Cottam. And Chris says, good evening. They've got a recurring dream, and they're dreaming of a past girlfriend who passed, and she always tells me she loves me. Our relationship never took off. Does she have anything else to tell me? Thank you very much. Well, Chris Cottam, you're dreaming of a past love because it was a soul relationship, and they want you to know that they are with you in the energy, and that feeling of love never dies. And even though the relationship didn't take off in this lifetime, it didn't mean it wasn't true and connected. It just meant that the timing of this physical reality was off, but that they are with you in spirit, and that love knows no boundaries, knows no time, and really doesn't know situations or circumstances. It just is. And so, Chris Cottam, just know that former girlfriend is truly with you in this energy of love, and she is with you always. So just know that. We're going to take our next question on Facebook or YouTube, and we're welcoming your phone calls at 866-972-7247. We've got Brandy Bryant Johnson, and she says to me, I need to move, but I don't know where or which direction to go. And God, I hear that saying in my head, which way did he go, George? So does Spirit have any guidance in moving? Well, Brandy Bryant Johnson, the first thing I will let you know is when I look at this energy, this year is a great time to think differently than the way you normally think, to do something unexpected, to go to a place that gives you, they're not giving me a town or a city or a state, they're giving me where would you feel comfortable, where can you build and feel safe for work, feel like you're financially supported, and what would make your heart sing. And that is the key part. When you're making your move, what would feel like home? Like when you go to that area, do you feel like, oh, wow, I could live here? Like when I came to Florida, one of the things I felt was, wow, I could really live here. And I had that feeling, that sense that I wanted to live here. And so that's what I did. I took that direction and moved to Florida because I felt in my spirit after visiting here that this would be a great place to live. And I don't regret that decision in any way. So where would you feel as if you're ready to have a great sense of new adventure and feel emotionally and spiritually like you're at home? The energy of move is something that we really want to see happen before February of 2026. Not sure on the timeline you're shooting for, but they're telling me something about August, September being monumental in this choice and this shift. So, but by February, you're out of where you are and you're off to new adventures. You've got this window of time between now and February to, in the spirit realm, move and get everything settled. Thank you, Brandy Bryant Johnson, for your Facebook question. We're going to go to our next question on Facebook or YouTube, and let's see who we have here. We have Iman, and Iman says, what do I see happening to her and her significant other? Well, Iman, you and your significant other seem to be, the word I'm hearing, at odds. I don't feel like we are on the same page. I feel like we're in and then we're out, and then we're in and then we're out. So I feel like your significant other is really being very self-centered and holding on to who they are and not considering where you are, where you're at, what your needs are, and what would be best for you. So Iman, I don't see this relationship as being beneficial for you as it may have once been. So Spirit is telling you to hold your boundaries, stick up for yourself and what you need this relationship to bring to the table emotionally, spiritually, financially. What is it that you desire? And stay true to yourself. You have put your partner before you. You have put others before you. And now from what I see and where you are, this is your turn. It is your healthy boundaries, your personal power, and this is the time for you to do you. Thank you so much, Iman, for your Facebook question. We're going to take another question from our friends on Facebook or YouTube before we go back to our phone lines at 866-972-7247. And we're going to go to LW Caps, wondering about my health and my finances. Well, LW, I don't have a real set on the health issue here. I'm not feeling anything that I have a word from Spirit about. But I do know, LW, that this month and November are 2 months that we need to put in some work to readjust our finances. I feel like after November, finances will begin to be consistently increased. I feel like you're on a shift and a change at this time, like reestablishing yourself or redirecting something so that you can build a better financial foundation for yourself. My guides are telling me that this year is a year of personal power as well as financial power. So choices are key. It's going to set the tone for you for the next 5 years. So after November on, we really want to be all systems go on what generates, what I need, and what will make me feel emotionally and financially sound. Thank you, LW Caps, for your Facebook question. Let's take one more from my friends on Facebook and YouTube. Let's see who we've got here. We're going to YouTube. We have Cicelo, and Cicelo says, what advice does Spirit have for me in regard to my finances and career? So what I have here for Cicelo is, Cicelo, this is a year for you to get things in better balance. I feel like you're out of balance. I feel like work is not really where you want it to be. I feel like 2026 is the year for promotion and advancement, a change, something that allows you to grow financially, grow in your role, grow in your position, because I feel like you've been feeling a little stuck and things are not flowing for you the way we want them to. And so 2026 brings you that opportunity to increase finances and have a different role, different position, something that is going to make you feel supported, secure, and also emotionally rewarded. Thank you, Cicelo, for your YouTube question. We're going to go to the phone lines, and I've got to go to Boca. I've got Marcia on the line. Marcia, how are you tonight?
Oh, maybe you can tell me, and thank you very much for taking my call.
I'm doing well, thank you, Marcia. I'm glad to connect with you. I would imagine I could tell you something. And when I take a look at boundaries for you, this is a year for you to kind of keep your boundaries and honor yourself. It's an important year for you and your person. It is a time of self-worth and self-care. So the focus is going to be on you this year, Marcia. What's important to you, you taking care of yourself, making sure we are in good health, and always keeping those boundaries and recognizing that it's okay to put yourself first. Marcia, what is your question for me?
Well, my granddaughter's health and my daughter and son, who are 49 and 52, are not speaking, and it's breaking my heart.
I'm sure. What is your granddaughter's birthday?
My granddaughter's birthday is July 15th, 2009.
That's a lot for someone that young, yes?
She's going to be 16 in a week and a half.
I know, but at 16, she's still. Does she have anxiety as well, please?
Yes.
Because I just feel like at that age she should be more footloose and fancy free, and she feels very restricted and like she can't be herself. Does that make sense to you?
Yes.
And is she talking to someone? Is there a therapist involved in this, please, for her?
I think that there's more than one, yes.
Okay. It's important for her. It's very important that she gets the support and the guidance as she navigates this time in her life. It is something that she will work through. It's not something that gets fixed right away. I feel like she's had a very major setback, and so she's not really enjoying life. But when I sit and look at where she is at this moment, and I take her through 2026, when I look at the end of 2026, so about a year from now, we'll put that as a marker. I feel like she's marketably different. She's in a better frame of mind. She feels emotionally and physically more strong. It also feels as if like she has inflammation in her body. I don't know if she's having headaches, if she's having like
monumental inflammation, a lot of inflammation.
Yes, and I see that inflammation. And again, I'm not a doctor, can't diagnose. It's just where I see the energy fall, and it's almost like there's some. I'm not a doctor, but I'll use a very overused word right now because there's a lot of it going on. Autoimmune, right? I feel like something's not right in her immunity. Her body is not really honoring itself and kind of turned on itself. It's affecting her emotionally and physically. So she's not her personal best, but she will be okay. As far as your daughter and your son, they're both two stubborn people. And neither one wants to give an inch. But this too shall pass. It's going to take some time. What is the birthday? I don't need their names. I just need the month and the day for your son and the month and the day for your daughter.
My son is 5176.
Okay. And your daughter?
And my 8673. A Taurus and a Leo, firstborn Leo.
Yeah. Well, good luck with that.
I
They
know.
are definitely butting heads, but they're both really good individuals. They're very grounded and heart-centered. They will find their way, but they both take things personally, and there's almost like insult, or I hear someone say to add insult to injury. So I just feel
Right.
like that's the phrase I hear. So they're very, very insulted, and so we need to let them
Right.
stay in their corners. As the mother, you have put them in timeout, and let them figure it out. They will. It's going to take some time. Yes.
I have one other question for you.
Yes.
I have a horrible relationship with my daughter, and I'm in Florida with her. Do you see any of that going? And it's her towards me. It's not the other way around.
Well, I know your daughter has a good heart, but I also know your daughter is a strong personality. And I also feel as if there's this energy of somehow, and I do not say this to upset you, this is what I hear, somehow she feels as if she has some resentment, or she feels like there's something you didn't do, or you could have been different. And so she's holding on to something like that, emotion and energy. And she's just like a dog holding a bone, and you can't take it out of their mouth, and she's growling, right? And so
Can she ever get over it? And this has been going on. I raised them pretty much from the time she was 5 and my son was 2 as a single parent. It seems like I get all the anger that should have gone through to her father.
Yeah, because somehow she feels like she didn't get what she needed, right? But you, as the single mom, and every single mother hearing you now is cheering you on and knows that you did the best you could, because we all know that being a single mother is not an easy job. And when we have to handle it on our own, it's a lot. And yes, the mothers get the short end of the stick, and fathers end up being Father of the Year because they only have to deal with 2 days of a week. Or it's just the energy, whether that was your exact story or not. Your daughter is
she doesn't flake. Yeah, I get all the anger.
And she's not, she is who she is. She's not letting go of that bone right now. She has resentment. It is not as directed to you as she's choosing to direct it. It is a resentment and an anger and a frustration within herself. Rather than do the work inward, your daughter, in a very fiery manner, is growling your way. I tell you, remember when I first connected with you, what was the thing I said? I said it's about you. It's about your boundaries. It's about your healthy boundaries, right? Spirit wants you to draw that line in the sand, and you can say, daughter, enough. Okay, enough. You've said this to me before. I am your mother. Don't snap at me. This is not how we treat each other. And that's it. And if she doesn't respond back to you in a way that's favorable, you just tell yourself, I'm going to do me. I'm going to take care of me. I understand the conditions may not be as flexible for you to just be like, okay, I'm not talking to her, but I want you to take care of you before it affects your health. Does this make sense to you?
I'm just, you've got just about everything on target, and I'm so appreciative to hear that, I'm not imagining things. I know that. And, of course, I worry about my health and my finances hugely. And and the boundary thing has always been an issue for me, overstepping my boundary. So you got everything on target. Okay. And I'm very grateful and feeling very blessed that I got to speak to you.
Well, thank you so much, Marcia. How did you hear about the show?
I was just listening to the radio coming back from, I ran out to the store for a quick 5 minutes, and I was hoping to listen. Actually, I was hoping to hear some Grateful Dead, but not on this channel. And I heard you as I was driving 4 minutes away from Publix, and I was intrigued. And I cannot believe that I got through, because I don't ever get through. So, and I do believe in people such as yourself that can, I've always wondered. I didn't get to say goodbye to my mother, and I don't have the money, unfortunately, to do a private reading. But I feel so very blessed that I got to speak with you. So I thank you so much.
And I feel equally as blessed, and that is exactly why I sit here on this radio show every Wednesday night, and I rarely ever miss a Wednesday because, no, not everybody can come to see me, even though my rates are really reasonable. Not everyone can make the trip to West Palm Beach. Not everybody can afford to, but we all have questions. And someone once was the kind stranger that made a difference in my life. That was my spiritual teacher. And now it's my job, my desire to be the kind stranger to people who cross my path. And so I'm so grateful that our paths crossed.
Thank you so much. Have a healthy, peaceful 4th of July.
Thank you. I'll be at the center working, and we hope to hear from you again. Now you have a new place to call and hang out and listen on Wednesday nights from 6:30 to 9 p.m. every Wednesday. We're hanging out here on the Oldie Station. It ain't no Grateful Dead, but it's a good conversation.
No, I'm very grateful. And by the way, I will tell a few of my friends about it. Thank you so much.
I appreciate that. Thank you so much. Bye for now.
Yeah. Bye-bye.
Bye. 866-972-7247. I got to go to Connecticut. I got Tammy on the line. Tammy, how are you tonight?
Good. How you doing, Sarah? Could be better.
Oh, well, let's see what we've got going on. Miss Tammy, this is getting ready for times of shifts and changes for you. Feeling like things have to change in order to get better. Is that true?
Yeah, my mom's not doing too good right now.
Yeah. What is your mom's birthday?
February 28th. I don't know the year. She's 90.
Okay. Well, your mom's energy seems really, her light, her energy seemed really low. Does that make sense to you?
Yes, she's actually in the hospital right now.
And does she have something with her breath and her breathing going on as well?
Her heart, she told me yesterday.
Okay. I see labored breath, difficulty breathing. So she's having irregular heartbeat. Tammy, is that what she told you?
Yeah.
Okay. Well, the angels are with your mom. They're looking out for your mom. Ask Archangel Michael to keep her protected. Ask Archangel Raphael to bring her energy of love and healing for this here. And I don't have a story for her over this next year. I feel like right now it's up to her to want to find the strength to be like, okay, I'm ready for another round, right? And right now I feel like your mom's really down and depressed, and this isn't normally how she would feel. She's usually a little bit more perky, and so this has been very hard for your mom to just be in the hospital. I don't even feel like she likes hospitals at all. Is that true? Is she someone who's
she don't like hospitals. She said something to me yesterday. Once she goes in, she feels like she's not going to go back to the convalescent home. That's how she put it to me yesterday. And I go, Ma, you're in good spirits. You're going to be going back to your convalescent home where you're staying.
Yeah.
And she said, no, once you're in ICU, you know what happens, you know.
Yeah.
But they did. Go ahead.
So, that's your mom's mindset, and you need to hold the light of the energy of the healing of the angels. That's why I say to you, I don't really have a story to say, she's going to come out, and because that hasn't all been decided yet. So it's up to your mom and God to decide what happens. And I know that may not be what you want to hear, and I'm not God, but I just know that this is without knowing that she was in the ICU, I was feeling it's a very critical time for her. And it's going to take some time for her to get her strength back. She needs to fight to find that.
Okay. You know about how long she'll be still in there?
I don't.
Okay.
I don't, because it's going to be up to her. Spirit just gave me the number 3 when you asked that question. So let's see what happens in the next 3 days with your mom. I feel like that's going to tell the whole story. whether
Yeah,
she
because I got to
stays
tell
or
you,
goes. Yeah.
real quick, we went to pick up my granddaughter the other day at daycare, and one of the teachers came up to my daughter and said, your daughter's been saying doctor, doctor, and she's been saying it for like 2 or 3 weeks.
Yeah.
So we get back in the car, so we tell her great-Grammy's in the hospital. And she goes, ooh, and we told her that she got a needle in her arm, and she goes, ouch. I don't know if she senses stuff with her being in the hospital
It's
and
very
everything.
possible.
And
It's
she
very
said,
possible.
And she hasn't seen my mother for maybe a couple of weeks because they have germs in those convalescent homes. You know how that is. And
well, honey,
so,
I want to let you know they have germs everywhere. Okay, if you go to the food store, there's germs.
I know.
There's germs in your house.
Yeah.
But I understand what you're saying, and because we only have just about 30 seconds left here, I just say this to you. Yes, your granddaughter senses. She may have heard the word doctor in a conversation, like mom's got to go to the doctor, and it just hit her little spirit just right. And she's talking about doctor, kind of intuitively knowing that something's wrong and someone's got to go. But send the angels. I will send the angels. We will pray for your mom in the hospital in the ICU so that she can find the will to pull herself out and say, hey, let's do some more of this thing called life. Because she is strong enough. She does have the wherewithal. So she just doesn't like hospitals. So we have to get her over that. And we have to trust
yeah,
that
I noticed that. Yeah.
she will do well. I have to pop off now, Tammy, but I'm glad I was able to get your call. And I thank you so much for calling. God bless you.
Thank you. I will try to call early next week.
All right.
When you're
Thank
on.
you so much. All right.
Okay.
Bye for now.
Thank you so much, Sarah.
You're welcome. Bye. 866-972-7247. Write the number down. I sure want to talk to you next Wednesday night from 6:30 to 9 p.m. right here on Spiritually Speaking with Sarah on the Oldies station. We're heard in Miami and all here in South Florida. I'd love to share the experience with you. Be sure to visit Sarah Spiritual on Facebook and YouTube and Instagram. And of course, go to sarahspiritual.com and learn more about the work I do and the sessions I offer and some of the cool classes we've got coming up, especially our full moon ceremony on July 10th. It's going to be fabulous at the Expedito Center as well as online. Thank you so much for sharing time and space with me. Good night. God bless you. I am Sarah Spiritual.
There's a light leading the way. Oh, there's a light. There's a light. There's a light that opens doors. Oh, there's a light that touches hearts.
This has been Spiritually Speaking with Sarah. You can hear and speak with Sarah Spiritual every Wednesday from 6:30 to 9 p.m. Each week, Sarah Spiritual and Spirit answer your most important questions as you navigate through life. Listen and call in next week and let Sarah Spiritual and Spirit guide you. If you didn't have a chance to speak with Sarah Spiritual tonight, visit Sarah at sarahspiritual.com. You can message Sarah Spiritual at Facebook and follow her on Instagram. Tune in every Wednesday from 6:30 to 9 p.m. with more from Spiritually Speaking with Sarah.
The opinions expressed on the preceding sponsored program were strictly those of its host, guests, and callers, and not necessarily those of this station, its staff, management, or sponsors.